Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Have we ever wanted spring training more? A warm sun bringing us out of one of our darkest winters. The hope that all 30 teams bring to camp has never been needed as much as now. The welcome diversion of the crack of the bat and the thud of ball against level is a symphony to the senses. Today, the Yankees take the field for the first time in 2021, brimming with confidence, a team loaded with promise, looking to be the last one standing in October. Sun, hope, a fresh start. The waiting is over. Yankees baseball, next on Yes.
It's going to be a big day in Tampa, Florida. Aaron Judge is looking for a big season. Stay on the field, put the numbers up. DJ LeMahieu, coming off another batting title, is locked in for 6 more years in pinstripes. And Gary Sanchez trying to erase 2020 and go into 2021. It's a gorgeous day. Fans are going to be in the ballpark. It's picture perfect here in Tampa, Florida. And it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. And today, it's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in an exhibition game from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. And we welcome you to Yankee Spring Training presented by Montefiore. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay. This is our 20th season of Yankees Baseball on Yes. It's gone by quickly, and the reason why, every single year, the Yankees put out a representative team with a chance at a championship. This year is no different, David, and obviously they think that they could be celebrating at the end of October.
And rightly so. I mean, the Yankees are loaded. Offensively, they should score the most runs in the American League. All the projections are really favorable to the Yankees' chances this year. But, of course, it's the starting pitching. As apropos, that should be number 1 on the list. It is. Who fills in behind Garrett Cole? Especially anxious to see Corey Kluber and his bounce back this year. And then, of course, the health of Judge and Stanton. How many times can they be in the lineup together this year? And what kind of numbers will they put up? And then, of course, the lightning rod. Fairly or unfairly, it's always on Gary Sanchez, and it will be again this year, especially early in the year, so he needs a good start.
We are pumped up. We hope that you're pumped up as well. It's a 7-inning game today, but it's perfect. Look at it. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees, Blue Jays next, right here on Yes. Spring Training on Yes is brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official SUV of the New York Yankees. For current offers, visit buyfordnow.com. About 25% capacity at Steinbrenner Field, so that should be about 2,500 people. First time the Yankees have played in front of a crowd since last spring training before the pause of most sports around the country. Yankees have taken the field, so let's take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup. Kevin Biggio at third base will lead off, batting second. The new second baseman, Marcus Semien. Bo Bichette, the shortstop, will hit third. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in left field cleans up, batting fifth. First baseman, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Rowdy Tella is the DH, will bat sixth, batting seventh. The catcher, Danny Jansen. Josh Palacios is in right field, will bat eighth. And Jonathan Davis in center field will bat ninth. And they will face that man, David, Michael King.
Yes, indeed. Michael King, the 25-year-old right-hander, trying to establish himself and take a shot at the Yankees rotation this year. He can do both, can be a swingman or a starter. And he's 6'3", 210. He's a good specimen out there and really good movement on his fastball. Take a look at the scouter report, and as we just said, that excellent moving fastball, two-seam movement. He can shred the inside corner on lefties with it. It is his bread and butter. Now the key for him is the refined secondary pitches. He's been in the gas station, as Meredith Marakovits likes to call it, the Yankees' new biomechanics laboratory, and he's coming up with more of a curveball, you know, sort of getting better spin on his breaking stuff, and then also working on his changeup. So that's a key for Michael King to be able to get those things under control and develop his secondary pitches.
Well, it all begins, the long journey that the Yankees hope will end at the end of October. Biggio is ready. King is ready. Let's do it in Tampa. First pitch is swung on and skied to left field. Clint Frazier's there, one pitch, one out. Why don't we take a look at the entire Yankee defensive schematic? You've got Clint Frazier on left, Mike Tauchman's in center, Aaron Judge over and right. In the infield, we're going to go third to first. And Duhar, Torres, LeMahieu, and Voit. And Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. And David told you all you need to know about Michael King on the mound. Fourth year at the helm for Aaron Boone. And Marcus Semien takes outside. Now we're running a little bit of a triangle offense. All right, so I'm doing the game from the Northeast. David is on the east coast of Florida, and Meredith Marakovits will join us during the game. She is actually at Steinbrenner Field. So because of COVID protocol, that's the way we're doing it. That ball mishandled on the backhand by Judge, and Semien will reach. And also a reminder, this is a 7-inning game today, mutually agreed upon by both managers.
Well, the last thing you need in the first inning of a spring training game is a collision between your center fielder and that guy in right field, or a dive that we've seen, you know, that big body dive before and come up injured. So the right call by Aaron Judge. Go ahead and pull up, even though you kind of clanked that off the heel of your glove.
Here's the shortstop, Bo Bichette, as Semien has reached. Nice scoop there by Voit. Save an error on King. Now, King says he's more ready than he usually would be at the start of a season because he got to Tampa early this year. And while he was there, he's been throwing batting practice to Judge, Mike Ford, Gary Sanchez. So these are not the first hitters that he's really facing this year. He's been really working against those guys as well. Nine games last year for King. 4 starts, former 12th round pick by the Marlins out of Boston College in 2016. Swing and a miss.
The good-looking changeup from Michael King, as we talked about his refinement of secondary pitches, and from a right-handed pitcher to a right-handed batter, that's as good as it gets.
Now, the Yankees got King from the Marlins in 2017. They were in the offseason for first baseman Garrett Cooper. They also got international signing bonus money as well. And since 2017, a 2.83 ERA in the minors. Second best among all minor league pitchers. Yankees like his stuff. Now, David, the top 4 spots in the Yankee rotation, gambling that health is fine, they're locked in. Michael King will be fighting for that 5th spot as well. There's a lot of people that are in line to want that 5th spot.
Yes, very much, Michael. It's a good point. Not only the 5th spot, but also depth. He can work out of the bullpen as well. He can be very valuable in a couple of different roles.
Trying to paint that outside corner, and the count is full at 3-2.
Good velocity
Just
so
underway.
far for Michael King.
Fouled away. Now you'll see on the left sleeve of the Yankee uniform, the number 16, honoring the memory of Whitey Ford, who passed away last season. And what a loss to the Yankee family. Just a guy who lived life to the fullest, a Hall of Fame career, a champion. And he will be missed, so he will be honored by the Yankees throughout the season with the number 16 on their left sleeve. Bichette hanging tough. Now it's worth noting that in spring training through games of March 13th, the games could be either 5, 7, or 9 innings upon mutual agreement of the managers. And both Charlie Montoyo, that man, manager of the Blue Jays, and Aaron Boone said, okay, let's make this 7. And games from March 14th to the end of spring training can be either 7 or 9. Pitch is high, so a good at bat for Bichette, as the Blue Jays have runners on first and second with one man out. So here's Gurriel, hit .308 last year, which was 6th in the American League. Also was a finalist for the Gold Glove in left field. Fly ball right field. Judge is there. He'll make the play. Tagging is Simeon. The throw is cut off. 2 away.
And fifth is the first base number 27, Vladimir Guerrero, Jr.
So here's Guerrero. Now he might look a little different than he did last year. He was clearly overweight last year, and during the offseason, he lost 42 pounds. He feels lighter, quicker. He'll be their first baseman this year. He's got a world of talent, but a lot of players came into the shortened 60-game season a little bit out of shape. Some of them claim there really weren't places to work out. They were quarantined. They probably ate a little bit too much, but Guerrero took it to heart and lost 42 pounds. He looks like a different guy.
Well, he really does, Michael. It's a great point. And that's a huge number, 40 pounds for a young man with a world of talent.
Now, both of these teams made the playoffs last year. The Blue Jays came in 3rd place in the East, 32-28. The Yankees were in 2nd at 33-27. Blue Jays lost to Tampa Bay in the first round, 2-0. Yankees beat Cleveland 2-0 in the first round. And then the Yankees lost in 5 games to Tampa Bay. And the Rays went on to lose to the Dodgers in the World Series.
You know, Michael, it was a big breakthrough for the Toronto Blue Jays organization to get a free agent to take some big money to go up north. And obviously George Springer is that guy, not here today, but that's a big breakthrough for that franchise. Kind of feel like the Blue Jays are a sleeping giant up north of the border, and they've got the wherewithal to spend money. And the question is getting free agents to take that money, and George Springer did, and they might have had to overpay for him, but that's how important it was for them to kind of match up some talent with this good young nucleus that they have. And they are a dangerous team this year in the American League East.
First and 3rd with 2 men out, and that one hits Guerrero. Kept bearing in on him, and the bases are loaded.
And 6 is the designated hitter for 44, Robbie 11.
So a quick conversation with Robinson Chirinos. So bases loaded for Rowdy Tellez. Simeon's at third, Bichette's at second, and Guerrero is at first. Just underway, our first spring training game. So great to see fans in the stands. The Yankees played 60 games last year. There were not fans in the stands, and even when they were in the playoffs, fans were not allowed. They were allowed, obviously, in the World Series and in the NLCS and ALCS. So 25% capacity. And there's supposed to be a 12-foot buffer between the first row of seats and the field. But that 12-foot buffer can be shortened if you have plexiglass up, and the Yankees do at Steinbrenner Field. That one is ripped to right field. It is a fair ball, and it bounces over the stands for a double, and that allowed 2 runs to score, and just like that, the Blue Jays up 2-0.
Batting seventh, the catcher, number 9, batting Johnson.
See, King tries to cut that fastball in on Tellez, and he beats him to the punch and keeps it fair. One bounce over the wall. That probably robs Tellez of another RBI on that ground rule double, but nonetheless, 2 are on the board now here in the first.
There's Danny Jansen. Now, there's one other thing to note during these spring training games, that a manager could say that's it after 20 pitches. It's up to the manager's discretion. They do not want to push these players that much this spring training after a 60-game season last year. So that's a consideration as King's about to throw his 20th. And he gets a ground ball to short. Torres across the diamond, and that'll do it. Blue Jays scored 2 runs. Couple of hits and 2 men left. Blue Jays 2 and the New York Yankees coming to bat. All right, so the Blue Jays put up a 2 spot, and now it's the Yankees' turn. Anthony King will be on the mound. Anthony Kay will be on the mound for the Blue Jays. Into the lineup, he'll face DJ LeMahieu. Second baseman leads off. Aaron Judge in right. Gleyber Torres at short. Luke Voigt led the majors with 22 home runs last year. He'll play first and clean up. Batting fifth, the DH today, Gary Sanchez. Clint Frazier's in left. Miguel Andujar at third base. Non-roster invite, Robinson Chirinos will catch. He'll bat 8th, and batting 9th and playing center field, it's Mike Tauchman.
And on the mound, another 25-year-old, a lefty, Anthony Kay, a local product from Stony Brook, trying to crack the Blue Jays rotation. Made his major league debut last year out of the pen with the Blue Jays, but they still see him as a starter on down the line. And the scouting report, as I said, the local lefty also went to University of Connecticut, UConn. His 3-pitch mix, kind of a low to mid-90s fastball and a true curveball. Lefty with a 3-pitch mix of a fastball, curveball, and a changeup. And as we said, the Blue Jays see him as a starter, and he's going to get that shot right here, starting the first game for the Blue Jays here in spring training.
All right, so here is the Major League batting champion last year, LeMahieu, with the .364, led both leagues. Second batting title for him. He won his other with the Rockies. And in the modern era in Major League Baseball, the first player ever to win a batting title with 2 different teams in each league. Coming off that season, LeMahieu was a free agent, tested the market, made it very clear he wanted to come back to the Yankees. Obviously, negotiations took place. He ended up signing a 6-year deal with the Yankees. Essentially, he will finish his career in pinstripes. Aaron Judge on deck. The 2-1 from Kay. Fouled away. Kay was a former first-round draft pick of the Mets in 2016, as David said, out of UConn. Now, we say second player in Major League history to win the batting title in both leagues, but we've told you before, new records say that Ed Delahanty probably had one of those taken away. So that's what makes that a little nebulous. So many people saying in the modern era, LeMahieu's the only guy to do it. So LeMahieu has worked the count full. And the 3-2. Grounded up the middle. Semien is there. One away. Why don't we take a look at the Blue Jays defense? You've got Gurriel on left, Davis, who can go get it. He's in center. Palacios over on right. In the infield, Biggio is going to be the third baseman this year. Bichette at short. Semien signed as a free agent, moves Biggio from second to third. So Semien, formerly a shortstop, will play second. Guerrero is at third. Jansen behind the plate. And no relation K is on the mound. Here's Aaron Judge. And a strike. Now, David, the only question with Judge, and we've seen it, the 1 year that he played every day, he was an MVP candidate. He's that good. He has to stay on the field. If he stays on the field, the numbers will be there.
Yeah, it is. It's the ultimate question, and a lot of the talk in the offseason of his training regimen. More stretching, little yoga. They're trying to find the right balance to train for a Major League Baseball season. There's just really nothing like it, Michael. It's so long. It's a lot of standing around. You know, it's a different type of training for a Major League Baseball player. Certainly you want strength, you want flexibility, but endurance and staying healthy, so important.
And it's the second year of the organization, really the first full year the Yankees have been working with their director of player health, Eric Cressey, who's so well respected in the industry, and incorporated some yoga and stretching for guys like Judge and Stanton, big guys. And usually don't see guys that big in Major League Baseball, but obviously they've got the skill set, and when they're on the field, they're outstanding. 2-2. Low 3-2. Hit sharply to short. Bichette will get Judge to the second out. Let's bring in Meredith Moragovich. She is the lone member of our crew that is actually at Steinbrenner Field, and Judge did change his offseason regimen, right?
He did, Michael, and a lot has been made about the yoga, but when Aaron Judge was asked about it, he said that's always been a little bit of a part of his offseason. It was more the modifications they made, incorporating a lot more medicine ball and movement stuff. Judge went on to say he thinks a lot of that explosive movement stuff is really going to help. A lot of less straight bench pressing and squatting, instead doing some of that stuff to kind of simulate quick motions that he would have to make out in the field. They are hoping that that pays high dividends, and Judge was just glowing, talking about how healthy he felt coming into camp. If you remember back to last year, he had a broken rib that he did not know about, and he even made a joke, it's a lot easier to swing when you don't have a broken rib.
Well, he looks good. He's ready to roll. Just getting a swing down before the Yankees will open the season on April 1st against this Blue Jay team at Yankee Stadium. Oh, 2 on Torres. Swing and a miss as Kay goes upstairs and retires the Yankees in order 1, 2, 3. We've played one at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. It's the Blue Jays 2. The Yankees nothing right here on Yes. Welcome back to Yankee spring training. First game of the exhibition slate. Yankees against the Blue Jays. Now, because of travel restrictions and COVID protocol, you see the Cadillac scoreboard 2-0 Blue Jays over the Yankees. The Yankees will play only the Blue Jays, the Orioles, the Phillies, and the Tigers during the spring training exhibition. So they're trying to keep players off of buses and having overnight stays in hotels in Florida. So that is the deal. They will only play those teams during this spring training. Palacios chops the 0-1 right to Voit, who beats him to the bag, 1 away. Oh, they called it a foul ball. Voit tried to steal it. Now the home plate umpire is Dan Merzel, and the other 3 umpires are Dan Iasonia, DJ Rayburn, and Ryan Willis, and they will rotate around the bases to get work at each base. So we just know that Merzel is always going to be at home plate. 1-2. Fly ball center field. Topman back. Makes the play. Now there's 1 away. Now the Blue Jays, because of the COVID situation and the fact that the country of Canada is closed off from visitors, where you'd have to quarantine for 14 days before you could go out in a city in Canada, they will start the season playing regular season games at their spring training facility in Dunedin. And they've locked in their first 2 homestands in Dunedin, and then they will reestablish after that if the protocols have changed between the United States and travelers into Canada. And that one clips Jonathan Davis, just got him on the way by. So second hit by pitch. Runner on first with 1 out.
It'll be the second hit batter for Michael King here. This one, a front door cutter, just barely grazes.
Also a reminder, because of the situation in Canada, the Toronto Raptors of the NBA are playing their games in Tampa. There's a strike, runner goes, and Davis is safe with a stolen base.
I'm wondering, Michael, if we don't see more of this year, and as analytics has kind of killed the running game over the last decade or so. And you know, AJ Hinch, who's back in the game, had an interesting quote about that, about putting pressure on the defense. And sometimes the metrics they use to quantify things like base running or base stealing have been a bit overused and maybe taken something away from the game. So kind of wondering this year, Michael, if we don't see a little more of some teams with speed pushing the envelope a little bit, because it does put a lot of pressure on the pitcher to quicken up its delivery and moves the defense around as well. Those things are hard to quantify.
The 0-2. Sky deep into left center field, giving chase is Frazier. It's over his head. That'll go up against the wall. Davis will score easily, and Biggio is at second with an RBI double. It's 3-0 Toronto.
The second baseman, Marcus Semien.
Well, it's the type of hitter that Biggio is. I mean, gap to gap. He's got some power. Drives that ball over Frazier's head. It's a lot of talent on this young Blue Jays team. Biggio's right there in the middle of it all.
Semien swings and misses. Signed a 1-year, $18 million deal with the Blue Jays. he wanted to return to Oakland. He'd spent his whole career there, and Oakland offered $12 million. That's the most they came up with. So he's switching positions, makes himself maybe more valuable, and goes back into the free agent market next year. David, I'm wondering the difference in the mindset. You're a kid, spring training, the pressure to perform and get people out, and then as a veteran, when you know you have things made, how you approach spring training.
Yeah, big difference, Michael. It's a great point. You know, as a veteran, you can shrug these kind of outings off pretty quickly. But for Michael King, you know, he wanted to come out and have a good second inning after the rough first inning, and you can see good pitch there. Little changeup, turns it over, down and in, gets the call. He's had a good look at that pitch today. That's probably been his best pitch, is that changeup, which we didn't see a lot of last year.
Here's Bo Bichette.
I think, Michael, one of the keys with Michael King is to get some swing and misses. I mean, he's noted for good control and a good running fastball. He gets a lot of ground balls, but to have a secondary pitch where he can miss some bats is really a key for him. Another good changeup there. That's been his best swing and miss pitch today.
One and two. 12th round pick we mentioned by the Marlins. The Marlins traded him to the Yankees, made his major league debut in 2019. That was at Texas. Nice stop by Chirinos. King grew up outside Providence in a town called Warwick, Rhode Island. And he is impressed in the minors. We told you the minor league ERA, second best over that time of all Major League Baseball. In 2018 at AAA, he had a 1.15 ERA. And he was the Yankees minor league pitcher of the year in 2018. And King was fortunate, one of the youngsters in the Yankee system that was at the alternate camp last year and also made the big leagues, pitched in 9 games. But there are so many minor league players that lost a year of their development. There was no minor league baseball last year. So they had to train on their own, obviously with the guidance of the team. But facing live batters and batters facing live pitching, it didn't happen for an entire year for most of the minor leaguers in Major League Baseball or minor league baseball. It's going to see, or we will watch to see the impact that has moving forward. Trevor Lane is up for the Yanks. So a 3-2 count, runner at second, 2 men out, 3-0 Toronto. Top of the second of a 7-inning game. Now Lane was on the list of pitchers that might pitch today in case somebody got into a situation like this. They don't want to push King's pitch count that high. He's about to throw his 40th pitch. And if so, that's when Lane's going to come in to get out of this inning. He was kind of the emergency pitcher on the list today. And that one gets away from King, almost hits Bichette. It is a walk, putting runners on first and second with 2 outs. Let's see if they let King work out of this or if they take the ball. So here's Gurriel with a fly ball to right in the first inning. You've got Biggio at second and Bichette at first. A couple of big leaguer's offspring. Craig Biggio and Dante Bichette. Pitch outside. So 1-0 on Gurriel. Chopped up the middle. Grabbed there by Torres. Spins and fires. And they get him for the final out. But the Blue Jays get a run. 2 hits. And 2 men left on base. At the end of an inning and a half from Tampa, it's 3-0 Blue Jays. Well, fans, Yankee baseball on Yes continues tomorrow afternoon with another spring game from Steinbrenner Field as the Yanks take on the Detroit Tigers. Catch all the action tomorrow starting at 1 right here on Yes, and we're excited. Scheduled to pitch for the Yankees, Garrett Cole and newly acquired Jameson Taillon. Luke Voigt takes upstairs as we start at the bottom of the second. Cadillac scoreboard 3-0 Blue Jays over the Yanks. Anthony Kay in his second inning of work. So Voigt led the majors with 22 home runs last year. Had a really good 60-game season. He played in 56 of them, 52 ribbies. You extrapolate that over 162, and those numbers could be eye-opening. Remember, he played most of the year with a foot issue. Fly ball. Gurriel. 1 away in the second.
Next up for the Yankees, and fifth in the order, the designated hitter, number 24, Gary Sanchez. Number 24.
So here's Gary Sanchez. His story has been told and told and told. He had a bad year last year. He admits it. The Yankees admit it. Hit 147 and went to work during the offseason and is trying to return to the form that made him such a promising player in Major League Baseball. But 147, it just seems incomprehensible that a player of that talent could hit that number. And I think the thing that was most alarming, David, is that he really didn't hit fastballs. And you know, you could have problems with curves and off speed, but you have to hit the fastball at the big league level.
Yeah, his strikeout rate and swing and miss rate were alarmingly high last year.
And that was a pitch that gave him trouble all last year. That pitch up in the zone with a little fuzz on it, and he goes down on strikes.
Well, Anthony Kay has looked sharp here in the first outing, and a lot of fastballs right on by Yankee hitters or beating them on the inside corner. And here's another one up and out of the zone by Gary Sanchez.
Here's Clint Frazier. He has been anointed the Yankees starting left fielder by Aaron Boone. That one is driven deep to center field. Going back, Davis. He's got room, and he makes the play right in front of the warning track for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So the Yankees go down in order for the second inning in a row, and we'll go to the third. It's 3-0 Toronto. We go to the third inning on the Montefiore scoreboard. It's 3-0 Blue Jays over the Yankees. Looking for a souvenir. So great, again, to see fans in the stands. So Michael King, his day is done, and the Yankees will bring in the right-hander Asher Wojciechowski.
Right-handers always had good stuff, a good arm, a live fastball that moves all over the place. Actually the type of veteran pitcher that Brian Cashman would take a flyer on and get a shot. That little kid got a shot. Take it home.
So Wojciechowski, a 32-year-old, has pitched for the Astros, the Reds, most recently with the Orioles. He's banged around. Drafted in the first round by the Blue Jays way back in 2010 out of Citadel. Pitched in 2 games for the Orioles last year, just 7 innings pitched, 6 hits. And a big league mark of 8-12 with a 5.76 ERA. Sounds like a broken bat. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Drops in front of Tauchman. So Guerrero picks up a single.
The designated hitter, Rowdy.
There's Rowdy Tellez. Bases loaded. Double, bounced over the wall down the right field line in the first inning. Wojciechowski pitched for the U.S. Collegiate National Team in 2009. He was in the rotation with Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, Sonny Gray, and Drew Pomeranz. And they won the gold medal that year in the World Baseball Challenge in Canada. There's a strike. Remember, today's game is scheduled for just 7 innings. Boone and Montoyo, they agreed upon that a couple of days ago. Ground ball past the diving Torres and into center field. And Guerrero stops at second, so a single for Tellez, who is now 2 for 2. You might have heard in the background a fan yelled double play. His voice had more range there than Glaber, as Glaber couldn't come up with it. It was a very hard hit. There's Danny Jansen. He had a ground ball to short. That was in the first inning. So first and second, nobody out against Wojciechowski. Now that was Andujar because they were shifting, so it was past Andujar, not Torres. So David, do you like the new score bug? Brand new for 2021.
I do. It's very clean looking to me.
We hope all of our viewers like it. I'm sure we'll get feedback, but we think it looks pretty clean, as David said. Two and 0. Palacios is on deck. Chopped slowly, third baseline, stays fair. It's going to be a hit, but it rolls foul. And Duhar knew if he picked it up, it was going to be a base hit, so he let it roll, and it kicked foul when it hit the lip of the grass. Right there, that kick. The 2-1. Now Jansen liked last year to hit against the Yankees. Boy, did he ever. Hit 139 against all of Major League Baseball when you extract the Yankees. Against the Yankees, he hit 421, and 3 of his 6 home runs came against Yankee pitching. 3-2.
You know, Michael, there's just no way to explain that. You know, maybe you talk about maybe, you know, players have another player's number or a pitcher. But that is just no way to justify those kind of numbers.
Swing and a miss. Jansen down on strikes, 1 away.
The right fielder, Palacios.
It's a good-looking slider there from Wojciechowski. Not much luck this inning so far, so took it on his own to get a strikeout for the first out.
Wojciechowski against Palacios, first and second, now 1 out. Now, we mentioned the Blue Jays made the playoffs last year, one of the wild cards, and they really didn't have a home because it was unsettled whether or not they'd be able to play in Toronto. They started the season on a 13-game road trip, which was 20% of the season. Then they eventually settled that they would be playing in Buffalo. And in Buffalo, they were 17-9. And they were 7-2 in their last 9 home games. But their season kind of turned around. Everybody watching the game probably remembers this. They came into the Bronx for a 3-game series, and they were embarrassed. They were swept, and they were outscored 43-15. Yankees had a barrage of home runs in that series, and you figured that the Blue Jays were done. But they ended up winning 6 of their next 8, and they sneak into the playoffs. So they're ahead of schedule with their young team, and as David mentioned earlier, they signed George Springer to a 6-year, $150 million deal, and they hope that that helps them take the next step. There's a strike. And David, I would guess that no one's going to question the offense of the Blue Jays, especially with the addition of Springer. But their starting rotation, what's that going to be? That's the thing that probably separates them from being considered a definite elite team. Foul ball.
Yeah, somebody like an Anthony Kay really stepping up would be a huge lift for them. Blue Jays do have some good young prospects too. Nate Pearson, one of the best young arms in the minor leagues. Upwards of 100 miles an hour on his top end velocity, is a pitcher they're looking at closely to break through.
Swing and a miss. Swings at an off-speed pitch upstairs, 2 away.
Nice little comeback from Wojciechowski here. See, kind of a backup slider there. Gets a swing and a miss, so 2 straight strikeouts after a bloop, broken bat, and a ground ball that got right on by.
So here's Jonathan Davis. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning, stole second, and then came around to score on Biggio's double. Last strike. Home 2. Blue Jays with 2 in the first and 1 in the second. The Yankees have gone up 1-2-3, 1-2-3 in their first 2 innings offensively. Ground ball through for a base hit. Frazier charges. Coming home is Guerrero. The throw is not in time. It's an RBI single for Davis, and it's 4-0 Toronto.
Well, these are backbreakers for pitchers, Michael. And you're one pitch from getting out of this. 2-out RBI. Jonathan Davis, a good job there, finding the hole, getting the bat head out, pulling that pitch just enough. Blue Jays now 4 spot on the board.
So here's Biggio. He's 1 for 2. Fly ball to left and a double to left center to drive in a run. Pitch is high. 1-0. Now the Blue Jay rotation, the best guess at this point would be Ryu would be the #1, then Pearson, the youngster, Robbie Ray, Tanner Roark, and maybe Steven Matz, who they acquired from the Mets. And then other pitchers like Stripling, Merriweather, piggyback rolls with Kay, Thornton, Zoik. They're going to use a lot of pitchers. I think a lot of teams will, David, because you've got guys that are going to have to increase their innings load after a 60-game season. Some guys didn't pitch at all last year, so I don't know if you're going to see a lot of pitchers over the 200-inning mark, so teams will have to get creative.
Yeah, there's already managers and general managers that have talked about just going to a straight 6-man rotation right out of the gate. So you're going to see a lot of spot starts. You're going to see extra days rest. It's almost like, Michael, we're reverting back to the ball in the shoe category. But back in the 50s, Don Larson didn't know he was going to pitch in the World Series game, that he threw the perfect game until he got to the ballpark and saw a ball in the shoe. So that concept is kind of slowly returning.
Two, 3-2. So that's going to release the runners, first and second, 2 outs. 1 run already in. 4-0 Blue Jays here in the top of the 3rd.
I think, Michael, rather than a ball in the shoe, the manager would probably text the guy in his hotel room nowadays. You know, a lot easier to send a text than wait till you see a ball in your shoe.
That one's popped up. And Gleyber Torres makes the play, and that'll do it. Well, the Blue Jays score a run on 3 hits. 2 men left. We're sailing along here on Yes. 4-0 Blue Jays. Our Yankees coverage today. Catch the latest episode of Joy to the World as host Ian Joy brings you uplifting stories from special guests in the sports and entertainment world. That's today after the game, right here on Yes. Some of the featured guests today: Hillary Knight, Olympic gold medalist in hockey; Blake Leeper, Paralympic athlete, world record holder; and Brandon Steinecker, the drummer of the band Rancid. Ian Joy is, in fact, a joy. That's a great show. Montefiore scoreboard, 4-0. Blue Jays lead. New pitcher is TJ Zoik. In the dirt, 1-0. 3rd inning, not a Yankee has reached base. TJ Zoik, Timothy James Zoik. He's 6'7", 25 years old. First-round draft pick in 2016 out of the University of Pittsburgh.
He's pretty solid last year.
Games.
Yeah, Michael, he was, you know, not a swing and miss guy. You see only 3 strikeouts in those 11 1/3 innings, but good movement and a high ground ball rate.
Has a very good curve, a 12-6 curve. Now, Andujar, if you look at the composition of this roster, because of his ability to play third, and, you know, they experimented with him in the outfield last year, unless there's an injury, I don't know how he makes the opening day roster, but he certainly has great potential, even more than potential. Remember the year he seemed like he hit a double every single day, and then tore his labrum diving into third base against the Orioles, and kind of wasted years. But people around Major League Baseball know what he could do with the bat for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point, Michael, and that really is the key, is just finding at-bats for him somewhere, somehow, is all he needs to get going again offensively.
He's going to turn 26 March 2nd. Grounded just past third. And the throw by Biggio for the first out. Let's go back to the ballpark. Meredith Marakovitz has more on Andujar.
Well, Michael, you and David were talking about how he might fit into this Yankees roster. Aaron Boone was asked that very same question. Does he have a role on this team the first day of spring training? And Boone simply said, we'll see. You mentioned that Andujar had that season-ending surgery in 2019, and then in 2020, with a stacked roster and shortened season, at-bats were hard to come by. But Boone went on to say, we absolutely love the person, love the makeup, and love the talent. He is going to get opportunities. He got the nod at third today. You'll see him at first base a little bit, and you'll see him in the outfield throughout the course of spring training. It is up to Andujar to take advantage of those opportunities. As Aaron Boone said, he has the ability and he has the talent.
So Robinson Chirinos hit the ball well, but run down by Palacios for the second out. So 2 down, and here's Mike Tauchman. It's going to be an interesting battle to see how Tauchman makes the roster. You know, the Yankees signed Jay Bruce to a minor league contract, and Bruce also has the advantage where he could play first base. Derek Dietrich is also a guy that will be battling, and although they like Tauchman defensively, in fact they love him defensively, David, he struggled last year, and he has revealed during the spring that he had a bad right shoulder last season.
And also, you know, into that mix is the return of Brett Gardner as well. So there are not enough spots for all the players that are candidates to be on that 26-man roster this year.
And to tell you the pressure he's putting on himself, David, you know, they have inter-squad games before they start playing games like they are today. And he had an at-bat against Domingo Germán where he did not hit the ball the way he wanted to. He snapped the bat over his right knee. And then the next time he came to the plate, he hit a home run off of Garrett Cole. So he's taking this very seriously.
Well, what Meredith Marakovitz told us really makes sense, because he just couldn't drive the ball last year like he did previously. Now we know that his shoulder injury was clearly a factor in his bat speed last year.
No one's chopped to second. Semien. And another 1-2-3 inning for the Blue Jays as the Yankees go down in order. We played 3 at Steinbrenner Field. It's 4-0 Blue Jays. Yankee spring training on Yes is presented by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare for Westchester, the Hudson Valley, and the Bronx. And the Montefiore scoreboard, 4-0 Blue Jays over the Yankees. And we're so fortunate that the manager of the Yankees has agreed to give us some time, and he grabs the headset, and there he is, just adjacent to the Yankee dugout, Aaron Boone in his 4th season at the helm for the Yankees. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy New Year, guys. It's really good to be on with you. It's good to hear your voice.
Good to have you on. It's good to hear yours as well. So, camp so far. Obviously, you always hear the cliches. Guys are in great shape, things like that. What are you focused in on? What are you feeling good about?
Well, first and foremost, that has been the case for us. You know, we had guys, you know, just from a physical assessment coming into camp, really across the board, really liked what we saw and some of the work they were able to put in the offseason to be in the condition that we had hoped they'd come in. So that was encouraging at the start. You know, I feel like we've brought in a lot of guys that, you know, can provide us depth, provide us a little bit of competition, and I feel like here in the early days, I've liked the competition and kind of the frame of mind that our players have at this point.
Now, right behind you, you've got fans. How different is that from last year, Aaron?
It's great. It really is. You know, I haven't experienced the no fans here because obviously we're, you know, used to that before we left here. But, you know, it feels more normal, you know, more like a normal spring. And, you know, hopefully we continue to add and add as we go on in the spring and into the summer, and we can get back to normal. But it is a welcome addition.
New pitcher for the Yankees, Kyle Barraclough, and he has a 3-1 count on Semien. What's your biggest concern going into this season, Aaron? What do you worry about when you go to sleep at night?
You know, I think for us, you know, we feel really good about, you know, the pitching depth that we've brought in. You know, obviously a couple of the big name acquisitions in Tyone and Kluber. And coming off, you know, a truncated season, just making sure that we build guys up properly. But, you know, kind of how we work the puzzle throughout the season and making sure we have innings covered and making sure we're not only getting the best out of, you know, our starters and our pitchers, but also doing right by them and making sure as best we can, keeping them healthy throughout the year and hopefully down the stretch for us as well.
Yeah, Aaron, along those lines, obviously, you know, a different year, tough year for you guys, really the entire staff, to kind of manage the workload of all these pitchers. First off, do you see yourself using sort of a pseudo 6-man rotation or a lot of spot starters? And secondly, who of the young arms that we haven't mentioned or haven't heard about that maybe has impressed you so far that should be on our radar?
Yeah, so I definitely think in that first month, you know, especially Coney with a few off days in the first couple weeks, I think we'll be creative. You know, especially trying to not only manage the short term, obviously, but keeping the big picture in mind and keeping guys like Kluber and Tyone and if, you know, or Herman or some of our younger, the Davy Garcias, you know, being mindful of their innings and wanting them to, you know, be able to pitch all season long, but also being mindful of that buildup. So I think especially in the early days, we'll get creative. You know, we'll see how camp unfolds and then try and map out April, you know, kind of map things out a month ahead of time as best we can. But those will be ongoing conversations, you know, with, you know, coaching staff, front office, strength and conditioning training, you know, performance science, all those things to try and really get the best handle possible on where our pitchers are at, and from you know, the things you can measure, the stuff in the weight room and the training room, to also obviously, you know, their pitch profiles and the stuff they're bringing out on the mound time and time, to just try and help us make the best decisions possible. As far as young guys, you know, Davey threw live again today. He's been really sharp coming in. Really liked how he's looked. You know, the new guys, Kluber and Tyone, have looked really good. Excited about, you know, the O'Days and the Wilsons that we've brought in to add to our bullpen. But I've been really encouraged with what I've seen for the most part across the board. And Kyle Barraclough right here, this is a guy that's not too far removed from being a pretty elite reliever, and we feel like he's kind of flashed some things here early in camp.
1-2 on the pinch hitter, Jordan Groshans. And the pinch runner, Otto Lopez, dies back. You mentioned Tyone, who we're going to see tomorrow. We're doing the game tomorrow to be Cole and Tyone, so we're excited about that. And Kluber. And combined, Aaron, those two guys, the ceiling is so high, but combined they pitched 1 inning last year.
Yeah.
Are you flying blind on this? Even if they're healthy, are you worried? How much can you push them?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've got to, you know, figure out and manage the best we can, because, you know, not only do we obviously want them as much as we can have them in the short term and early, and hopefully they get off to good starts, but also because we feel like they can be impact starters, because we feel like those are guys that you can hand the ball to in a postseason setting. We want to make sure we're doing right by them throughout the season to protect them as best we can. And I think the only thing we can do is really, you know, listen to their feedback and then, you know, take what we're seeing, take the measurables, look at their stuff start to start, look at their strength and conditioning numbers start to start, and as the weeks unfold, and try and just make the best informed decisions we can in kind of making them very much a part of that conversation as well.
2-2 count on Groshans.
Attaboy.
And a little bit low, 3-2. Aaron, so much of spring training is about a team developing chemistry, being together, enjoying each other's company. But with COVID protocols, you're kind of shuttling between the complex across the street and where you are right now. How difficult has that been for you and your staff?
Yeah, I mean, creates a little bit of a challenge. We're fortunate that it's only a, it's a quick drive away. So, Mendy and I have been going back and forth a lot here in these first couple of weeks, but it's by the time you get in your car, it's a 2-3 minute drive over there. So, and because Himes, our minor league complex now is just, they've really poured a lot of, invested into that place a lot. So it's a really good environment and a really good work environment, especially for the pitchers and catchers that are over there. But it is something that togetherness, that camaraderie that you want to build is something that I really value and is really important. And I think in probably about a week, possibly on that off day, is when I plan on probably shifting things and bringing, whether it's we can get around 40 guys in here at GMS, and 40 guys that, will be the bulk of our, team or guys competing for that, and we'll get those guys together. So hopefully it's about 3 weeks where we'll, be able to be together and build those relationships, especially, you talk about just the pitchers being around the position players, Tyone and Kluber, and Wilson and O'Days, the new guys being with our position players. It's something that's very important and something I plan on doing probably as early as next week.
Yeah, Aaron, I know it's been, kind of an ongoing, educational process, especially for some of the older pitchers. Now you've got the gas station, sort of that biomechanics lab built down there. And, it just seems to me that it's kind of like getting fitted for golf clubs, right? I mean, it's got to be interesting for some of these guys to see their numbers.
That one falls in front of Frazier. He fires home. Scoring is Lopez. And it's 5-0 Toronto as Gurriel moves to second on the throw.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a really valuable setting for us, to be able to get the kind of measurements we're able to get. Every individual player is a little bit different. So you've got pitchers that are, keenly aware and want to know every pitch, and you almost have to guard against that a little bit, and hey, let's execute the bullpen, we'll break this stuff down later. And other guys just get in there and want to pitch, and then we kind of do break it down later or the next day. So it's been a really valuable resource for us, and hopefully something that pays some dividends for us moving forward.
So much of your success this year is going to be predicated on the ace of the staff, and that's Garrett Cole. We'll see him tomorrow, as I mentioned. We'll have that game at Yes at 1 o'clock. So how's he looked?
He looks great. Garrett knows himself, about as well as you can, and that coupled with obviously what a great talent he is, I think is been a deadly combination for him. So he's really doing well. His last live BP was another step forward. Feel like he's in a really good spot, at this point, in February with his delivery, with how his pitches are working. So excited to see him get out here tomorrow for his first game action.
Also, a lot of your success this year is going to be predicated on people staying healthy, particularly Judge and Stanton. What have they done differently to ensure that happens, that they do stay on the field?
It's just constantly trying to grow. Obviously a lot's been made of Eric Cressy and, Brett McCabe and Matt Rutledge have done a really good job, I think, of really kind of setting the strength and conditioning culture now that we have, and it's, taken hold now. It was this, it wasn't this time last year, they had only been on for a few weeks, so they were kind of evaluating guys at this point. Now they've been able to go through a full off season with guys and really set their programs.
Guerrero with a deep fly to left. Frazier makes the play on the warning track. The runner stays at second.
So, I mean, it is that time of year where everyone's in the best shape of their career and all that. But one of the things I'm really excited about is where our guys are physically. You know, they came in a really good spot, and you know, I feel like we're on the right track. You know, from a strength and conditioning standpoint, certainly, and you know, hopefully we start to see the fruits of that with more and more guys routinely staying healthy.
Breivik Valera is going to pinch hit for the Blue Jays. Runner at second base. We're in the fourth inning. It's 5-0 Toronto. Aaron, you're the fifth highest winning percentage in Yankee history for a manager in his first 3 seasons at .615. But you haven't done the thing that you wanted to do, and that's win a championship to this point. How much does that burn you? How much is that a burning need for you to complete that?
It's the number one reason why I came here. It's the number one reason that, you know, my number one focus and number one goal, and certainly it's a goal of ours as a club, and I think, you know, especially with the guys that have been here and been knocking on that door now for a while, I think we're of singular mind in that, and I think everyone, you know, I feel like even at this point in February, we're very hungry, and that's something I feel like we've had these last few years, and the pain of falling short has really stung, but we're excited to go chase that down, and yeah, I mean, that's what it's about for us right now.
Forrest Wall, who's pinch running for Gurriel, steals third base. A runner at third base, 2 outs. We're talking with the Yankee manager, Aaron Boone. 5-0 Toronto. First spring training game of the year. I thought you put it so well last year, Aaron, that last year, you know, it was an accomplishment to get through the season, but there was just a darkness to everything. There was no light. Do you feel more of a light, especially on the horizon with vaccines happening and people back in the stands? Do you feel that it's going to be a different season?
Yeah, I do. It does feel like this time around, obviously we're dealing with a lot of protocols and things now that aren't always way normal, but you get that sense that as we go, things are going to continue to get better and better and loosen more and more, and that's exciting.
Be well, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, so Aaron Boone, Aaron Judge, Stanton, they're all doing yoga. They copied it from us. Look, we were well ahead of the curve a couple of years ago. Oh, yeah, stretch it. Stretch it, Mike. All right, another night, another incredible show. Tomorrow night on Yes, don't miss the hottest team in the NBA as the Brooklyn Nets head to San Antonio to battle the Spurs. Live coverage starts at 8 right here on Yes. The Nets had their 8-game winning streak snap last night, ready to start another one in San Antonio, and that is one fun team to watch. Montefiore scoreboard, 5-0. Blue Jays lead, bottom of the fourth inning, top of the Yankee lineup. It's DJ LeMahieu. And Zoik starts him off with a strike. So LeMahieu grounded out to second. That was in the first. And there's the first base hit of the spring for the Yankees, as LeMahieu leads off with a single here in the fourth.
Well, there's just something about DJ LeMahieu's presence in this Yankee lineup. His style, his contact nature, just barrel the bat to the baseball, rarely strikes out, rarely swings and misses. He just really is the perfect fit at the top of this Yankees lineup.
And Judge takes a strike. That's Andrew Velasquez pinch running for LeMahieu. And there's a strike. Judge grounded to short. That was in the first inning. 5-0 Blue Jays. 0-2 count on the Yankee right fielder. Zoik deals. Still 0-2. Must be very special for Velasquez to put on those pinstripes. Went to Fordham Prep, local kid. High drive, center field and deep. Davis back, and he makes the play for the first out. There's Gleyber Torres. That was Chavez Young, who was taken over in center field. Now Gleyber has something to prove this year. Remember, in 2019, he had 38 home runs. Last year, obviously in the 60-game season, he had just 3. He came into camp, the second camp, the summer camp, admittedly out of shape. He had come into spring training in great shape. But then as everybody waited for the season to start, some didn't have places to work out. That's one of the things that happened with Gleyber. And he started off very, very slowly. In his first 24 games, just 3 extra base hits, just 3. And a 636 OPS and 91 plate appearances. Then he had his left hamstring strain. And when he came back on September 5th, he had 8 extra base hits and 842 on base percentage in 18 games. And he had gotten back into shape at the alternate site when he was rehabbing from the injuries. Now he came into to camp here in Tampa in wonderful shape. He's been working out all season. And the Yankees expect big things from him. He's just 24 years old. So his last 21 games last year, he hit 329. The first 28, 225. And the last 21 include the postseason. That one is driven to left field. And that's going to be in there for a base hit. Cutting over his wall, and he plays it near the wall. Velasquez will be held up at third. It's a double for Torres. And the Yankees have runners on second and third with 1 man out.
Well, you mentioned it, Michael. Maybe the first time in Gleyber's life that he really struggled last year in the first part of the year. And he certainly turned it around towards the end. And this is a classic Gleyber swing. He almost adjusts mid-flight on an off-speed pitch, and still he's able to keep his hands back, gets the barrel to the ball, and gets a double out of that.
There's a ground ball, left side, off the glove of Simeon, then off the glove of Groshans. A run will score. Be an error on somebody, and the Yankees are on the board. And it's 5-1, Toronto leads. So Lopez bobbled, then Groshans, the shortstop, bobbled, and that allowed Voit to reach and allowed Velasquez to score. All right, so Chris Gittins is going to pinch run for Voit, and Osvaldo Peraza is pinch running for Torres at second. High fly ball. Wall makes the call and the catch for the second inning.
Number 77, Clint Frazier. Number 77.
So Peraza at second, Gittins is at first. Yankees have their first run on the board. It's 5-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning of a 7-inning game. And here's Clint Frazier. Frazier with a fly ball to center. His first time up. That came in the second inning. Two and one. Well, Frazier played 39 games in 2017, 15 in 2018, 69 in 2019, 39 in 2020, and incredibly, that adds up to 162, a full season. And he has a .258 average lifetime, 24 home runs, and 82 runs batted in. So even Clint said, you know, with all that time in and out and the uncertainty and the injuries, if you put a full season together, he's assuming that it's going to be better than 24 and 82, and the Yankees would be thrilled with that over a full year. So he's finally getting his shot this year. Remember, he was the 5th overall pick in the draft by the Indians in 2013. Grounded to third. Smith over to White, and that will do it. Yankees get on the board. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error. 2 men left on base. We'll go to the 5th. The Yankees spring training on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. The Hyundai Spring Upgrade event is going on now. Hurry in and get the upgrade you deserve. By FanDuel Sportsbook. There's more ways to win on FanDuel. And by Cadillac. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer and experience the ultimate in iconic luxury. Well, what a postcard day in Tampa. Some puffy clouds pinned up against a beautiful blue sky. The weather is just gorgeous. And this begins the 2021 spring training season, which will lead us to April 1st and opening day at Yankee Stadium. And look who's back. Adam Warren comes in for the Yankees. And that is hit sharply to short. Peraza over to Gittins. 1 pitch, 1 out. Warren trying to make his 3rd tour of duty in Yankee pinstripes. He had Tommy John surgery in 2019, September of 2019. Signed a non-roster invite contract with the Yankees. Logan Warmoth, 1-1. Former 4th-round pick by the Yankees in 2009 out of the University of North Carolina. Warmoth with a deep drive to left field, and that's going to be in there for an extra base hit. Trey Amburgey gets the ball back in.
See a fastball right down the middle. Squared up fairly well into the gap.
Chavez Young, his first at bat. Right in on the hands.
I think Yankee fans remember the style of Adam Warren. He never really was all that overpowering, but very dependable. It's almost like the sum was greater than the parts with Adam Warren. He had good control, ability to make good pitches when he had to, mix it up. Always had a good slider he could throw at any time. It's a very dependable reliever for a long time. Trying to revive his career after Tommy John surgery, as Michael mentioned.
Did he hold up? No, he did not. He goes around. So Young down on strikes, 2 away.
That patented Adam Warren slider down and in. He knows what to do when he gets ahead in the count. That's what you look for in a veteran reliever. He knows how to pitch.
Kevin Smith at the plate. That's Rob Brantley now behind the plate for the Yanks. Two and 0 on Smith. Runner at second. 5-1 Toronto. Top of the 5th inning. There's a strike. David, does he look any different than his other tours of duty with the Yanks?
Very similar to me. I mean, he might not have all of his arm strength back as of yet. We've seen him in the past in the low to mid 90s. Right around 90 miles an hour so far here today in his first outing, but very good slider. The thing about Adam Warren was he was always kind of a, you know, a Swiss Army knife, so to speak, in that he could spot start. He could give you multiple innings at times. He could pitch in relief on the back end of games at times. Uses all 4 pitches. Almost a starter's repertoire for a reliever.
Two outs, runner at second. 3-2 count on Smith. Strike 3. Smith down looking. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. The end of 4 1/2. 5-1. During photo day, the Yankees trying to make a picture-perfect season. Some of the images of spring. It is time now for today's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Doing More. And we go back down to Tampa and Meredith Marakovitz.
Well, Michael, I spoke to Gio Urshela the other day, and he said he is very close to 100%. He's pretty much been doing just about everything. Now it's about getting some reps in the batter's box and making sure that elbow responds accordingly. There was a new injury in camp, and that's Clark Schmidt with the common extensor tendon strain. His elbow stiffened up a little bit and lost range of motion after his first bullpen. He did have an MRI. It showed his UCL is intact. He told me he wasn't too worried because the pain was on the other side of the elbow, but still, as a pitcher, anytime you feel something in your arm, you hold your breath. He'll be shut down for about 3 to 4 weeks, and it's a shame because he felt great coming into spring training. His velocity was up from about 92 to 94 to 95 to 97 here in 2021. So he's frustrated, but realizes that this is just another mountain to climb. As far as Luis Severino is concerned, he's been throwing at about 120 feet, and he's expected to throw off the mound for the first time the week of March 8th. And although this one is not an injury as of a couple days ago, Estevan Florial was still not at camp. He's been having some visa issues and a little trouble getting to Steinbrenner Field, so they are looking forward to him joining spring training in the near future.
Thank you, Meredith. You see Jacob Waguespack on the mound for the Blue Jays, facing Miguel Andujar. 1-2 count. You know, the thing with Clark Schmidt is you've got let me stop my story because we have Luke Voigt joining us right now. Luke, welcome to the broadcast. Michael and David here. How you doing?
What's up, boys? How you guys doing? It's good to be back, and good to have you here instead of back in New York, huh?
No, we are back. We're not there. We're doing it remotely, but you're there.
Yeah.
But how's it feel having fans in the stands?
It's awesome, man. Even doing the opening ceremony and even having the chance cheer, getting the Luke chants, it's awesome, man. We missed it, and I'm glad we got some of the fans back. This is great. How good could this team be, Luke? Champions. This team's really good, and I'm really excited, man. It's there you go, Miggy. This is going to be a fun year. Got to stay healthy. I'm excited to see these new pitchers throw. Got to face Kluber the other day. I'm excited to see Talion, some of the guys we picked up too. Man, it's going to be a fun year, and I think we got all the right pieces to fall in line to go win a championship.
Do you allow yourself, Luke, to look at what you did last year in a 60-game season, 22 home runs, over 50 runs batted in, and say, if we play 162 and I continue to do that, I'm going to put up monster numbers? Can you allow yourself to do that? Yeah, I mean, that's the goal every year. You know, I want to go out and have a great season, and obviously continue after the success I had last year, and rolled over into this year. I had a great off season. Everything felt healthy, felt good, got stronger, and I just obviously want to get my walks up a little bit. I didn't walk very much. My walk ratio is down, and obviously hit the ball hard and good things happen.
Hey, Luke, Meredith Marakovitz, the lone member of the Yes Crew here in Tampa today. You talked a little bit a few days ago about trying to tighten up the defense at first base. How do you feel defensively right now, and how have you been working on getting that first step to your right a little bit quicker?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously I've been down here all off season, so I've been able to work with the coaches and stuff down here, and get my first step, and it's just all reaction and timing, just like hitting. And I just got to take pride in it and make sure I'm on time every pitch, and be able to get to that ball on my right, because it's always shifting now. I mean, I'm halfway to second base now in most of these plays, and it's getting those balls that DJ has no chance on, and trying to make a play or at least knock it down and stop a run.
When you look back at last year, how much do you think you really were hindered by the foot issues?
Yeah, I mean, it happened earlier, and obviously it got worse and worse, and it was pretty bad in the playoffs. But I wanted to be out there with the boys and keep competing, and obviously we had a chance to do some damage in the playoffs, and it bothered me for probably half the season, and it's one of those things where I needed time off, and I didn't have that opportunity to, and I want to keep being out there because we were missing a lot of the guys, so I needed to be in there to help get the job done and win some of those games later in the season to get a better spot in the standings.
Hey, Luke, David Cohn here. I just want to ask you, growing up in Missouri, I know you're a Missouri State kid, and I noticed that you had a Dave Parker shirt on the other day in the press conference. The Cobra, they're pretty cool shirt. I mean, he was a classic. Was he one of the guys you looked up to growing up, or anybody that was an influence on you that was a major league player?
Yeah, so Marcus, our hitting coach, came up to me and he mentioned he wanted those T-shirts made, and I reached out to Roto World and they hooked it up because the boys always be bopping, so in the cages. So if you hear those loud noises, so it's a great shirt. It's a great way to show respect to those old players that got the jump done before us. And I had a lot of guys. I had Ryan Howard go to my high school that I looked up to, and getting to see him when I was younger, on Gatorade and Powerade and Adidas commercials was pretty awesome. And obviously David Freese was a big one for me, who I still keep in contact with. So I got a lot of guys that I looked up to, and the guys that paved the way, and just great guys overall that were always there for me.
2-2 count on Rob Brantley, runner at first base. And the count 3-2. Yankees down 5-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning of a 7-inning game. We're talking with Yankee first baseman Luke Voigt, who was 0 for 2 today with a fly ball and a hard ground ball that was booted by the second baseman Lopez. That allowed the only Yankee run to score.
Did I get the steak on that? No steak?
They gave an E4. Did you think? I don't think you do get an RBI, no.
That's unbelievable. I would have been out by a mile. Come on.
You mentioned you faced Kluber and Tyone. We're also looking forward to seeing them pitch. We haven't seen them pitch the last couple of years that much. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I faced Kluber. I haven't faced Tyone. Actually, I haven't got to meet him. It's been a little bit weird, with the pitchers being over at Himes complex and us being over here. But I think we're going to get together here shortly once we get more towards the middle and end of spring training. But yeah, Kluber. It felt good to face him. I've never faced him. I didn't face him at all. And, it's good to get back in the box. Oh, there we go. Get out, ball. Get going.
The right center field. There.
Hey!
Oh, see ya. A 2-run home run for Brantley. And it's now 5-3 Toronto.
Good for Rob. Good swing.
Come on, Luke. Do some analysis. Break down the swing. What did he do?
Atta boy, Robbie. Atta baby. Good shit, baby. Oh, sorry. Oh, man. It looks like he got a heater, middle in, and he let it the big dog eat right there. So good stuff. It's kind of hard to tell from over here. Can't really tell where the pitch is at, but
you called it well. It's exactly where it was.
But yeah, Kluber, Kluber's the guy that, he changes shapes with his slider and his little cutter thing. And it's, he got me to swing on a couple, but, he's a guy that's going to pitch both sides of the plate, command the zone very well. And, he's going to be a guy that makes you think and, try to get yourself out. And I think that, he has the ability to go back to what he was when he was in Cleveland. And, that's what we hope to get.
0-1 on Tauchman, who's grounded out to second in the third. What's it mean to you, Luke, to come into camp and really there's no battle for first base? You're the first baseman. Does it free the mind just a little bit to take your time, do what you have to do to get ready?
Yeah, and I kind of felt like that last year, obviously, before the pandemic hit, and it's nice. I've always had a battle from, when I came up in the minors to, finally getting the job, last year. So, but you know what, the competitive juices are always flowing, and that'll be like that until my playing days are over. But it does. It feels good. I was, got the adrenaline going today. It was a little nerve-wracking getting back in the box. The butterflies were going, so it was good. And the fans make that a lot better too.
Hey, Luke, I know it's still very early, but you've been in the cages with all these guys. You've been watching the live BPs as well. Has anybody offensively really stood out to you or jumped out to you based on the way they came into camp?
I think Glaber looks really good, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And obviously, Giancarlo, he looks great. And, if we can get him back in the form that he was in the playoffs, the guy hits the ball so damn hard, and it's impressive to watch. Oh, Mikey, do it.
Driven deep to right field. Fair ball, it's gone.
Mikey.
See ya. A long home run for Tauchman.
I'm good luck on
and
this.
It's 5-4. Nice. You're good luck, Luke.
Man, that was way back. That's his second one. He got one off the other day off in live BP.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, Mikey, swing it. Man, there you go. The boys are bopping now.
That was some shot. I think they hit the that roof of the pavilion. Long home run for Talkman. Luke, I need you to take me through what it feels like when bat meets ball and you know it's gone.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. That's it. It's the best feeling, and especially when you know it. Get to stare at it a little bit, lean back on it. You know, and obviously all these guys are bat flipping now too, which makes the game fun, man. That's what everyone comes to see. So it's great, man. I wish I could do that today.
David, was it a great feeling for you, David, when it happened?
It didn't happen very often.
I still have some issues with my neck from snapping my head watching it go. You know, I never hit one. I gave them up. I gave up a lot. You know, you brought up, Michael, you brought up a good question, you know, with regard to Luke Voigt. And Luke, I mean, this kind of goes to you. And I mean, just reading you this spring and really over the last year or so, but there's a comfort level with you. You feel like, you know what, since you've been in the lineup as a Yankee, you're at least in the top 5 of all Major League first basemen in terms of production. And certainly last year, a 60-game schedule, you led the league, but this spring it feels different. It feels like, you know, you are you now. This is Luke Voigt. You're one of the best. You're one of the best producers in the game. And you know, this might be the first spring training you really had that comfort.
Yeah, it's you know, it's you know, it's humbling to you know get that from you guys, but there's still a long ways to go. And you know, I hope you know, get to play this game a long time. And you know, I just want to go out there and have fun and you know, have a great time with the guys, and you know, obviously win and you know, get the job done in big situations and you know, win championships. And it's you know, it's a blessing to you know, put on the pinstripes, play in New York, and you know, get embraced by the fans. There's no better you know, feeling.
3-1 count on Andrew Velasquez. 3-2. I asked you this on the radio, Luke, and I want to do it for our audience. You know, when you look at your numbers when you were in the minor leagues in St. Louis, you had really good numbers. You really never got the chance. How many Luke Voigts are out there that never really get the chance and could do what you're doing in the big leagues, but never are in the right spot and get the right opportunity?
Yeah, it's ooh. There you
fly ball left field.
It was even worse last year. You know, obviously none of those guys getting to play, and you know, I think I told you, you know, about a month ago that I probably wouldn't be in the big leagues if you know, it would happen. And a lot of guys' careers ended, and you know, they never got a chance or opportunity because they get stuck and they don't get to show you know, what they get. And you know, it's a tough sport, and obviously there's a lot of good players, and you know, opportunities you know, don't come very often, but when they do, you got to take advantage of it. And you know, I hope that you know, these minor leaguers keep sticking, don't you know, quit, retire, and you know, never give up, because there's always opportunities in this game. And you know, once you get it, man, run it and take with it, and never look back and enjoy it.
Luke, we're going to have you on every inning during the year.
Yeah. I need to have. I'm going to wear a headset when I hit or something. This is good.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Let's set it up. That's Luke Voigt. Yankees have 3 runs in. They make a pitching change. We'll come back with more. It's 5-4 Blue Jays right here on Yes. All right, Anthony Castro on for the Blue Jays, and the 0-1 to Socrates Brito is fouled away. 0-2. So that's what Castro did in the minors last year, Double-A ball, or not in 2019. Didn't get the chance to pitch last year. 116 strikeouts in 102 2/3 innings. 102 1/3 innings. David, that was fun with Luke Voigt, talking to him during the game, and had some really good things to say. And you're right. There's just a different feel about Luke Voigt. He's kind of burst upon the scene and become a very dominant player.
Yeah, you could just tell by his body language. He's relaxed. He belongs.
Strike 3. Brito down looking.
It's just a whole different feel, Michael, for a veteran player who's established himself. That you can go about your work in spring training and just feel confident that you don't have to prove anything. Your spot is secure. As opposed to, you know, the other end, you've got to make a team, and you feel the stress of that. I think this is the first spring we've seen, you know, where Luke Voigt is well established.
According to Baseball America, Peraza is the 6th best Yankee prospect on their top 30 prospect list. He rips that one foul. And he has also been tabbed by Baseball America as having the best infield arm in the Yankee system. So he took over at shortstop for Gleyber Torres. Beautiful Sunday afternoon in Tampa. Popped up, shallow right field. Otto Lopez is there to make the play. But the Yankees get 3 runs on 2 hits, nobody left. The 2 hits, one of them, a 2-run home run by Rob Brantley. Just cleared the wall. Mike Talkman almost cleared the ballpark. A blast. Luke Voigt liked it. Look at every Yankee. Beautiful Sunday afternoon at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Yankees and the Blue Jays. First spring training game for both. Blue Jays lead this one 5-4 in the 6th inning. And this will be a 7-inning affair. Lucas Litke will come in for the Yankees. He's impressed. He's got a good arm. Left-hander, obviously, as you can see. And he'll face Otto Lopez. There's a strike. Now Litke's career has been kind of odd. He was in the majors with Seattle from 2012 through 2015. Has not been in the majors since. 2019, he was in AA and AAA with the A's. So his last big league appearance was in 2015. Check swing. And the word on Litke is he gets ground balls. He's been with 7 organizations in his pro career. Strike 3. Been with the Brewers, Mariners, Angels, Reds, Orioles, Diamondbacks, and the Athletics.
Well, looking very sharp off his first hitter there. Kind of a backdoor cutter there. Gets him looking. Also has shown a really good curveball. Real downer tilt to that curveball that he's featured so far. If you're a left-hander and you have a good curveball, you're going to find a job.
Here's Groshans. Struck out in the 4th inning. Now Litke has been involved in a no-hitter. 2012, June 8, 2012, he's pitching in Seattle against the Dodgers. And he was the 4th of 6 Seattle pitchers in a combined no-hitter.
Get a look at his delivery from the side. Pretty simple. Pick it up and put it down. Very much under control.
The other pitchers that combined for that no-hitter, Kevin Millwood, Charlie Furbush, Stephen Pryor. They pitched the first 7 innings. Then Litke recorded the first out of the 8th inning before Brandon League and Tom Wilhelmsen closed it out. Ground ball to short. Peraza for the 2nd out. Here's Forrest Wall. David, I can't wait till opening day on April 1st when I can look through the glass and you're right there. Now I've got to look through, like, what, 15 states?
Yes, exactly, and wait for a slight delay, too. Have a whole new appreciation now, Michael, for what Paul O'Neill dealt with all last year. That 60-game season we had, sitting in the basement in Cincinnati.
Now I'm in the basement. This is the Studio K, and you're in some kind of kitchen for some reason.
Bar. This is the bar. It's where I belong.
A bar area. Well, you're broadcasting where you're comfortable.
Yes. Can I get you a drink?
The 0-2. Oh, just missed. Litke with the 1-2. We're back again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Yankees and the Tigers. And we're excited to get to see Garrett Cole and our first look in a Yankee uniform of Jameson Taillon. Now, this will be the last time the Yankees wear the full pinstripes until opening day. They do this on the opening of spring training, and then they put the pinstripes away, at least the tops, until they return to the stadium.
It is a great look. The pinstripes, and of course a great tribute to Whitey Ford, as you mentioned before, with the Circle 16 number on the sleeves.
It is such a great look, David, that when Taillon put them on for the first time, he took a selfie and sent it to his family because it was such a big deal. He said he'd been thinking how he was going to look in pinstripes. And I know one thing, just from personal experience, pinstripes are very slimming, David.
They are slimming, and you know what? You don't have to worry about your name on the back of your uniform either. Just a number.
No name, of course. 3-2. Served into left field, and that's going to dunk in for a base hit in front of Malone. So Wall picks up a single. Well, download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your New York Yankees and the rest of the league. Great app, really great app. Some of the crowd of about 2,500 at Steinbrenner Field. They're allowed 25% of capacity. The ballpark holds around 10,000. Right now in New York City, and although it could change by opening day, hopefully for the better, 10% capacity. That's what they're doing at Knick and Ranger games, and they're allowed to do it at Net games, although they're a little under the 10%, and Islander games as well. So at this point, it's 10%, and let's cross our fingers that all the trends continue to go well and that we'll see more people on April 1st when the Yankees and the Blue Jays open the season.
You know, Michael, the only problem with 10% in the crowds, especially in spring training, is that you hear that one guy, that one heckler. You hear every word. It really stands out. You know, when you're a ball player, you like a full crowd, because then it's kind of a dull roar, and you can't really pick out that one guy that's the heckler. But when you have 10% like this, well, you hear it. K, you're a bum. You hear that very loudly.
Yeah, now I just get a chance to read that if I go to social media. Swing and a miss, White down on strikes. Pretty good inning for Lucas Litke. No runs a hit. One man left. Let's go to the bottom of the sixth. Spring Training on Yes is brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official SUV of the New York Yankees. For current offers, visit buyfordnow.com. Montefiore scoreboard at 5-4. Blue Jays over the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning on what will be a 7-inning game, mutually agreed upon before the game by both managers. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is Joey Murray. Pitched at 3 levels in the minors in 2019. You see his numbers. How about those strikeouts, David?
He's got a lot of everything on that list. It's impressive.
Here's Chris Gittens. Now, I need you to explain this, David, because in doing research on Murray, his fastball sits at anywhere from 87 to 92. But he gets an incredible amounts of swings and misses, and they call it an invisible. What's he doing? What are they not seeing? Why they swing and miss at a pitch that's 92 at best?
It's really about life. You know, old school description would be he's got life on his fastball, a little hop on it. You know, if I take you to the gas station that the Yankees have down, you know, in the shed down there, I could show you spin rate, and what that means is that the ball just seems to stay up. That hitters continually pop it up or swing under it because they anticipate, you know, the ball from a pitcher or thrown off a mound will come down just a little bit, but that invisible is something that just stays up in the zone. It's a four-seamer. It has riding life, and hitters just seem to misjudge it and swing under it.
Swinging on 3-0, pops it up. Adams, a tough go there. He's stepping over the on-deck circle with all the bats and the weighted donut, but he makes the play. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Ezekiel Duran is going to pinch hit for Gary Sanchez. I would assume, David, that you can't teach that, what Murray has, the invisible. You can't teach a ball to stay up like that. I guess you could come close, but it's got to be natural.
More times than not, it has to be natural. Although nowadays, I think you probably can come closer to trying to teach it. And that's what that laboratory is all about, or the gas station, to go down there and try different grips and evaluate the spin on the baseball. You know, the only example I can give you, back in the 80s on the Mets, I had a teammate named Sid Fernandez, great left-handed pitcher, but just like you just described, he threw the ball about 91 or 92 miles an hour, but he had one of those fastballs that was an invisible. He'd throw a belt high or letter high, and hitters would swing through it all day long. If you look at Sid Fernandez's numbers in his career, one of the toughest lefties maybe in the history of the game to hit off of, and it was because of that natural ability. And I just know from playing catch with him before games in the outfield that his ball just jumped at you. You couldn't read it. It really was something that just kind of snuck up on you. The fastball got on you quicker than you thought it was going to get there. And it's a difference between life on a fastball and velocity. Two very distinctly different things that we can now measure through spin rate and through some of these high-speed cameras that they have, you know, incorporated nowadays.
Strike 3. Duran down looking. Here's Trey Amberge. Did not play last year. You'll see that with a lot of these young players. Three infielders on the left side for the righty swinging Amberge. 5-4 Toronto over the Yanks. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike. Grounded to short. Groshans. And that'll do it for the Yankees. They go down 1-2-3 against Murray. We go to the 7th inning. It's the Blue Jays 5, the Yankees 4. You're watching the Yankees on Yes. Top of the 7th inning coming up. The Blue Jays lead the Yankees 5-4. Nick Goody is a new Yankee pitcher. Earlier, Meredith Maragovitz caught up with Yankee infielder Tyler Wade.
Tyler, can you just describe the excitement coming to the ballpark today, knowing the spring season is getting underway and there are going to be fans in the stands for the first time in a very long time?
Yeah, we were buzzing today. We came into the clubhouse. There was an extra little bit of pep in our step. Music was a little louder. Yeah, it was fun. I think we're all excited to play in front of some fans for sure.
Expectations are always high for the Yankees, but what specifically excites you about this roster and this team heading into 2021?
I just think the chemistry that everyone has. I think we've gone through a lot together, and we have each other's back. We know exactly what we need to do to accomplish our goal. So that excites me the most, and I think we're all really hungry.
How do you continue to build on that chemistry, knowing it's a little bit of a different setup this year? Pitchers and catchers over at the minor league complex, position players over here, and even just getting your work in, I imagine, has to be a little different this year.
Yes and no, but I think I said this earlier. I just think the guys that we have in that clubhouse, everyone's such a good dude, and the energy is always high, and everyone likes to work hard. So the camaraderie is a lot. It's really easy just to kind of pick up where we left off in the season. So it's like we never missed a beat when we showed up, and obviously having Gardy back and DJ back are huge key pieces. And so yeah, we're just all really excited to get going.
What are your expectations for this year, and how do you see yourself fitting in?
Win a World Series, number one. Number two, just like I said, give guys days off. Glaber, DJ, Gio, whoever it may be. I feel good mentally. I feel really good physically, and I'm excited to get going.
You worked out with Aaron Judge a little bit in the offseason. You said a few minutes ago you feel like he's poised to have another big year. What tells you that?
I see what he puts in, and just the way he speaks about it. I think he's confident, he's healthy, and he's ready to dominate the league again. And I know he's got the ability to do it, and I think we're going to see a show in 2021.
Tyler, thanks for the time. Best of luck this year.
Thank you.
I thank you to Meredith and to Tyler Wade. So 2 quick outs against Nick Goody, and Logan Warmoth is at the plate. 1-0. That's what he did with the Rangers. Made 1 start, 17 games overall. This would be, if he makes the team, his 2nd tour of duty with the Yankees. Originally a 6th-round draft pick in 2012 by the Yanks. Made his major league debut in 2015. Fly ball deep right. Going back, Brito on the track at the wall. See ya. Nice catch by a fan. A run nonetheless. It's 6-4 Toronto.
Let's see a high slider. Up and out over the plate and hit the other way just enough. And you are right, Michael. That is a nice grab by the fan.
Young pops it up. See if it stays in play, and it does. Alvarez with a nice play to end the inning. So for the Blue Jays, 1 run, 1 hit. No errors and nobody left on base. Alvarez with a nice grab for the final out, and the bottom of the 7th coming up. All right, Yankee fans, become a Yankee Insider today. Receive the latest video highlights, up-to-date news, features, ticket specials, and more, all delivered free to your inbox wherever you are. Sign up today at Yankees.com/subscribe. And if you already have a Yankees.com account, log into manager preferences now. Don't miss a moment. Visit Yankees.com/subscribe today. All right, Brian Baker is going to try to close it out. 7-inning game today. So you see a Baker in 2019, close to 50 games. 6-10-1 for Toronto, 4-5-0 for the Yanks. So this is the bottom of the 7th, the last licks we'd call it if it was the 9th inning. So this is the bottom of the final inning. Alvarez, who made the nice catch to end the inning in foul territory, will lead off, and he swings and misses against Baker. Baker's 26 years old, 11th round out of the University of North Florida. He's from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Take a look at that catch one more time. So leans over, doesn't get any help. Make sure he shouts at the Blue Jays. I don't need no help.
Yeah, exactly. It almost looks like he's got the Roger Maris jersey from the 60s on with the short sleeves. Showing off the guns a little bit there, Michael. That's a new look, I think. It looks like Roger Maris circa 1961.
I mean, we're almost in Kluszewski territory there, David.
Yeah. Short sleeve look. Yeah.
Sporting a Derek Jeter jersey, now has a souvenir and has a Super Bowl shirt. A lot's happened in Tampa. All right, the Stanley Cup champs. You've got the Super Bowl champs. You've got the American League champs. As Alvarez swings and misses. So Tampa is teetering on becoming title town. It's right across the street where the Buccaneers play. Tom Brady and the Bucs. There's Rob Brantley, who hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. All of us here at Yes are so glad that we could bring you this game, and as we said at the start, hopefully the world is returning to a bit more normalcy, and that we can be a part of that and play a role in that and give you Yankee baseball to enjoy from home until you can go out and see a game in person. So we're thrilled to be able to do the games and broadcast them to you during the spring and then once the season starts as well. As I mentioned, this is the 20th year of Yes, and it's gone by in a hurry. One and two on Brantley. And the pitch. Hit sharply. Right at second. Otto Lopez is there. And the Yankees are down to their final out here on the bottom of the 7th.
You know, Michael, I guess now's as good a time as any to ask you a quick question, but you are going to be reunited with John Sterling and actually do a couple of television games this spring, right?
Yes, on the 15th and the 22nd.
Wow.
We are both very pumped about it. He's actually doing the radio game in the Yes Studios in Connecticut right now. And Susan is at her house doing her part of the broadcast. It's amazing what broadcast companies have been able to accomplish through this last year and over this last year. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Technology that's being used behind the scenes, just incredible work by the technicians. Can you imagine Phil Rizzuto couldn't talk about the bridge drive nowadays? He'd already be home.
That's right. He'd have no excuse to leave early. Yankees down to their final strike. And the pitch. Upstairs, 2-2. And Malone takes the 2-2 and fouls it the other way. Tomorrow, the Tigers come to George M. Steinbrenner Field, and I'll be here with David and Meredith, and we'll have a broadcast at 1 o'clock on Yes. Garrett Cole gets a start, and we'll get a first look at Jameson Tyone. 2-2. Swing and a miss, and that is going to do it. As the Yankees go down in order against Baker, and the Blue Jays win this one by a score of 6-4. We'll come back, put some finishing touches on this one. Yankees lose the first game of the spring, 6-4. We'll be back.